Good afternoon, Sue de Blasio. I wanted to do a video on some of the things I learned when I first started out on my journey with gluten and dairy intolerance. One of them is pretty basic, and I can't believe I didn't even think of it, is that eggs come from chickens, and chickens aren't dairy. I assumed because eggs are like a breakfast type food that it was dairy. And, if you're like me, then eggs are okay. But if you're allergic to eggs, forget it. They also have an egg substitute out there. It's a powdery material that you can buy. I just discovered it. I never saw it before the other day in the store. Another thing is xanthan gum. Xanthan gum. Some recipes, gluten and dairy free recipes, will call for you to get the xanthan gum. And if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I'm sorry. Everybody has a different way of pronouncing it. But what you want to do is look at your gluten-free flour. Because most of them, I found a lot of them, contain xanthan gum now. So you don't want to buy it and then add a thickener into something that already has a thickener in it. The back of the product that you're buying has so much information that, you don't want to spend hours reading it, but you do need to read it. Even down to where it says, it lists all the ingredients and says contains wheat, soy, whatever. And that's the easy way of finding out right away, if you can buy something or not. Another thing is that there are foods that are naturally gluten-free. One of them would be oatmeal, is naturally gluten-free. So you say to yourself, then why is there gluten-free oatmeal if it's naturally gluten-free? Well, in a lot of facilities, they not only produce the oatmeal, but they're producing other foods that have gluten, dairy, soy, tree nuts, peanuts, all kinds of allergens. So the fear is cross-contamination, that, some of that may get into the oatmeal that they're making. Therefore, they have gluten-free oatmeal, and on the back it should say gluten-free dedicated facility or something to that effect, because it's totally clean of any other allergens. I found that interesting because I, assumed, it's gluten-free, so I can just get the gluten-free. Some people it may not bother because their sensitivity is not that high, but other people it may bother a lot. So, try it and see. Another thing is, even though you may be gluten and dairy, or just gluten or just dairy intolerant, and you may have peanut allergies, tree allergies. There are other things. There are spices that I can't eat, even though my list says they're okay. They bother me. So what I do is I read the label. Fruit is one of them. So if I see a lot of times in cookies, they will incorporate, pineapple juice concentrate, apple juice concentrate, not to say that apples and pineapples aren't good. They are, but I just can't eat them. So these kind of things you want to look for in the labels, like if onions bother you, garlic, anything like that, then you want to read the label and make sure, even though it says it's gluten-free or dairy-free, there may be a spice in there or something in the contents that will bother you. So I would read the label. I know it takes time, but you want to make sure when you get home you don't get sick. There are a lot of things I found along the way, and it took time, a lot of time, even down to I made a gluten-free cake for my birthday, and I said, "Oh, I'll have to make the icing, right?" So, because I didn't think there was any icing out there that was dairy-free. But yes, there is. And I'm not sure the brand name that I'm thinking of is the one. So, just research and you will find it. But I think there are a couple that are dairy-free, which is great. So, there is so much information packed into one other thing I wanted to mention was high fructose corn syrup. That's something that is on the elimination diet. High fructose corn syrup, for me, especially because sugar bothers me, for a lot of people is a trigger, that kind of sugar sweetener. So I love barbecue sauce. And there was one barbecue sauce that had no high fructose corn syrup in it, and then it went away. But then another one came out, so we use that one now. And there's not many that say it. Then ketchup also. We have a ketchup that has no high fructose corn syrup in it. There have been more I've seen on desserts or cereals, even on my waffles now, it says no high fructose corn syrup. So they're getting better with that, so you will know. If you turned it over again on the label, it should say, I noticed with the barbecue sauce, this is how I found the one we use, is right away it'll say the first ingredient, high fructose corn syrup. So these labels are really invaluable and should have more on them, but they're making progress, so I have to say that's good. I think for now, that's all the tips I have. I will have more. I will be videoing weekly, so I hope that you tune in to listen, and I hope that you subscribe. And I would really love you to leave a comment on, what you're doing, your success, questions you may have, all of these things. That would be great. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to you subscribing, and have a great day. Take care.